Well, there. Let's go with it.
The mic on?
Oh yeah. Is yours on?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. No, not.
It's not on.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
No, it's on. The green light has to be on.
So what? What's today's topic?
You tell me, bro. I don't know.
Was
Self improvement, growth.
there anything to talk about today? That's why it's nice having a third person because we could, I don't know. Maybe I talk to you too much, but I don't know.
There's always stuff to talk about, man.
I know, but
There's always stuff to talk
ideas run out.
about. Nah. World War III,
You think it's gonna happen?
100%.
Nah, maybe. If we hit a recession,
People aren't talking about it, bro. But Putin already like backed out of the treaty that the nuclear treaty that we had. He backed out, and so did the U.S. So at this point, anybody can basically use nuclear weapons. And it's just like a matter of when and who's gonna do it.
you think he is?
I don't know. I really hope not, because that would lead to like the loss of lives of like billions of people. You know, and probably the end of the world. Because
But it doesn't feel like the end of the world vibes, you know?
no, it definitely doesn't. But that's what they want people to. That's how they want it to appear. If they really knew, if the world knew we were this close to going to World War III, like in nuclear arms, you know, it's like the whole world would freak out, because they know that it would be something serious. It
I
ain't
feel
it
that.
ain't just going to war no more. Back then it was just going to war like it was different than World War now. World War now is a lot scarier than it was back then.
You think
Back
so?
then you would just be afraid of people like obviously maybe coming into your home and like capturing you, and like a nuclear bomb, bro, that would wipe everything out, make
Exactly.
everything uninhabitable.
That's I mean, the U.S. dropped two of those motherfuckers in Japan already. So, do we have it coming?
But that's what I'm saying, and that even then, to this day, an area that can't be like accessed by people, because
Yeah.
it's like radioactive. Like so, they made that whole piece of land uninhabitable, that whole city. You know, isn't that crazy? Imagine what the nuclear bombs of today can do. It's a trip, bro.
Would they do that though?
Do what?
Like, what side of the U.S. pick East Coast, West
I
Coast?
think they'd probably go for the East Coast because they know it's the most populated. Because that's for sure what's most populated,
But
and
it,
maybe even like some of the West Coast. You know, they probably would go for like national monument, like or like places where it's obviously,
like a terrorist attack?
yeah.
Fucking
That's what I believe. I
I
mean,
feel like the East Coast, at least like because the Pentagon, the White House, all over there, they would have to be the most protected, right? There has to
yeah,
be some countermeasure that's probably like classified type shit,
maybe.
Because why would you like
There's like anti-nuclear or whatever. Like there's like lasers that they shoot at. Like they literally have lasers that are meant to like
that's what
take.
I'm saying, like they probably never would say it out loud that they have it. 'Cause why would you? It's, if anything, you would want them to think that like what we already think now. If nuclear war started, that's the end of it. But in a way that we want them to think that, so they do that, and then we have some countermeasures they don't know about.
Hmm.
Kind of like set up a trap for them, and then that's when we strike it. But then they might have it too. But
That's what I'm saying, though. Like I feel like they're just as equally as advanced as we are. If not even more when it comes to it.
those Russians, man. Well, what I noticed about the Russians is not a whole lot of them compared to us, right?
I think so because
That's
a
just
lot of their landmass is like just mountains.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like we have more heads to be working on shit. I feel like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But then again, they probably have scientists from all over the world working on shit. So as long as they have the money for it, I'm sure they could do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think, bro. Like, are we really this close to World War III? Like, I feel like it's like a lot closer than the people think we are. Yeah, I feel like it's not really talked about very much. Although some people know, because it's in your regular news. Like, if you can literally just go on your phone, go to the news, watch this, go on the news. Okay, I look into this, bro. I keep up with the news.
Why? Why do you do it to yourself, bro? It doesn't benefit anybody.
I mean, it's good to just stay updated.
Is it? Is it?
I think it is. You
Yeah.
can go search and then you can go
Well,
World
obviously, if you
War
search it,
Three.
you're gonna find it.
Look, China could spark World War III with Taiwan. Like that's what I'm saying. And not even just Russian war. It's China invading Taiwan, and Taiwan is like basically in treaty with the U.S. So basically, they're part of our alliance.
Yeah, yeah.
And if China goes and invade them, it's basically like they're invading us, and we have to back them. We have to back Taiwan, and that's where the idea of World War III is coming. And then China knows what they're doing, and then not only China, they they're trying to take over the world current, like the dollar.
Yeah,
They're
I
trying to
saw
make
that.
they're trying to make theirs the that's basically like a financial form of declaring war. You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it wouldn't be. Not that I keep too much of this, right? But I do know about that. And but I feel like it wouldn't be an actual war. I feel like it would be like how you said, a financial war. I think
Financial
that's what's
war.
going on already. So they're trying to. I mean, war,
And what do you think that would happen to us? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think war would happen until the economy as a whole is like on its last legs type shit. Because that's when we're the weakest.
mm,
If they can like slowly bleed us out financially, that's that's when it would make most sense for them to attack. Right now, for me, it does not make any sense.
mm.
Not that I keep up with it, but it's just for me, it's just like
No, that's true.
the chessboard doesn't seem as set up as it could be, in a way. Like I think what's going on with like the LGBTQ people and all this shit, that's like dividing us, right? Divide and conquer. That's one of the laws of war. You you can beat a very strong opponent without being that strong yourself if you could make the people inside the country turn on themselves. But I feel like I don't know if we're at that point. I don't think we hate each other that much, right? Like I feel like I could look at like a redneck or even like any other person, just be like we might not always get along, but like we're not. I'm not gonna not saying that I want to go to war, but like I know there's gonna be part of our culture and their culture and other people's cultures that are gonna come together at that point, and I don't feel like we're that divided. We're divided in a lot of ways, but I feel like when we come to war, we would be able to see eye to eye at least, get through it.
Yeah,
I could be
100%.
wrong.
I mean, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of people who might not think that way though, too. Not everybody thinks the same.
Yeah.
There's some messed up people in the world, though. The world just
Well, I mean, it makes more sense. Think about it. Like, let's say that we're half the population is trying to like civil war type shit, right? Why would you limit yourself to only half the population when you can just be like, you know what? We have a common enemy. Let's put aside our differences for now and attack that. That to me makes more sense. Any rational person, I would hope we able to see that too. So I don't know, but I have read shit. The Book of Power. It would talk about like that same scenario where there's this smaller kingdom wanted to take over. I think it was somewhere in China. So they basically like tricked this bigger kingdom into kind of like fighting with them themselves, and they were just so weak that they just came in and fucking
took over.
just took the whole thing over. So I don't know. The strategies, bro. I'm telling you, these people aren't. They're not thinking like. They're not thinking. I would hope so. They're not thinking like, let's just attack him on this day for this reason. They're like, They're trying to like instigate it. They're trying to set
Yeah.
it up so that they fuck up and they have to make the first move.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this is only the beginning of what's like to
Yeah,
come. You know,
yeah, I
like
feel that.
only from here to maybe 5 to 10 years, we'll see what really happens. You know, and that's the scary part. Like, I mean, we're gonna still do what we're gonna do. You know, but like, what if we don't get to enjoy the life we earned? You know,
Cycle,
that would
man.
only be the
Hard
part that
times create strong people. They create good times, and good times create weak people. And we're at the weak people side. We got to go back to hard times. So we're up. War's coming.
for real. Gotta toughen up. Gotta go crazy with it. The only way to do it. Only way to make it happen. Cause, like you said, we are really divided, bro. As a country, I don't know how it would be if like it were to really hit the fan. You know, like it would be hard for people to help each other. I feel like.
I would hope not. I would hope we could put aside our differences, but
Nah,
that's me.
that's
That's me being an optimist,
yeah, way too
optimistic.
optimistic, bro. The world don't work like that. I feel like it would even become probably even more divided than it is. People would be like trying to like just it would become like mass murders, bro, type shit. You know, like people would
What?
be
Like
for real
riots in the streets.
riots in the streets, like um people taking over like pharmacies just with like guns and shit. You know, and just doing for
I
like
wonder, in the time of actual war, I wonder what social media will do.
I don't even think that it would be working. I think that's like
Yeah, bro, what you mean? Like that's how like you would communicate with everybody, right? Some celebrity's gonna be like, "Come on, guys, the coach is right," like that type of vibes.
yeah
I don't know. I think that's what I'm saying. Like I think because no matter what situation happens today, tomorrow, someone's gonna come out with a pretty good point, and people are gonna agree with it. And I feel like that's the same shit is gonna happen. Like something's just gonna catch wind. There's gonna be screenshots of someone saying something, and then everyone's gonna see it.
yeah.
So I would hope, but I don't know. Some people probably would take
Yeah,
that
that would be
opportunity.
interesting though. Social media in a time like that, you know, like what would it be like? What would be like? I feel like people would be trying to help each other at that point. Like there
Yeah,
would be a lot of more like positivity, like. But I feel like there would also be a lot of like people just trying to like make people aware, you know, like showing like the truth of what's really happening, you know.
what I'm thinking too is the other countries using that against us. Hey, there's a safe house here, and then people are nearby, and
True, huh?
then you just get slaughtered. So I guess it could be both good and bad.
Oh yeah. Damn, I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Hey man,
Damn,
I don't know. I don't.
we
I'm
gotta
not
think
too
ahead
worried.
though, you know.
Well, yeah,
It's always
obviously.
good to have little ideas like that in mind.
Like
Just
what?
like just what you said right now. Like just like in case you always
A
you always got
fallout
that
bunker.
you always got that little doubt in your mind. So like if anything were if you were to see something like that, you always know you can't 100% trust it. You know. So,
You got to be prepared. Like I feel like that's when it's a good time to like pick up shit like camping,
oh
like
yeah,
like being able to make fires and cooking out in the woods and
you gotta
shit.
go camping this summer, bro.
You like camping?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you don't like camping?
It's
Really?
alright.
You're not an outdoors person or what?
I like going outside, but I don't like staying outside.
Really? You don't like staying in the tent in a little sleeping
It's
mattress?
all hard ass for. I don't even like sleeping mattresses that much because you gotta. The last time I went camping, I think I slept on the hammock. It was like the middle of summer, so I just had a blanket on and like just a hammock. And I woke
I
up
feel like
pretty
you
good.
gotta make it right because I feel like the experience of camping is dope. You know, like getting a little campfire going, you know, all that going. You know.
Well, I went with a big group of friends, so I was just kind of like sitting back, letting them. They would go camping way more than I did, but it'd be cool to pick up that little stuff.
Hell yeah, bro. You always gotta have those little skills too, like how to like.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I
Stop,
mean, it's
bro.
a lot of that is just simple, like how to start a fire. Do you know how to start a fire?
You gotta like.
Nah,
I see some videos, some TikToks.
I know. I'm not talking about like that, but like you obviously like maybe we're like even like
Wait, okay, so give me like, do I have a lighter?
yeah.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Okay, but how you starting it then?
Well,
Like
I
I'm
would like,
talking like a big campfire fire.
so I would like pile up the woods in a way, like little teepee looking shit. Then I would find little, I don't know what they're called, right? But the little like the giblets, you know, put it like underneath it, and that's easier to light. So then you can light up the bigger shit.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, at least to me, that's common sense. I don't know if other people will be able to figure that shit out.
I mean, it's not as easy. It's easy. It's a lot easier said than done.
So is everything else, bro. Come on now. Like I could say, like, oh, if I had an axe, I can chop down a tree, but I'm sure you gotta put a lot of effort for that.
Oh, that's a lot of effort. Have you ever chopped down a tree though with an axe?
A whole tree, no.
No.
Like little trees, like little skinny ones, but not like, you know,
Yeah, I've chopped down a tree.
with an axe.
Yeah.
That's cap.
Not
You're
like a big
scrawny
one.
ass.
Not with a big one, but
What was the girth?
probably like this
Oh,
big.
that's nothing, bro.
This big?
I could do that without an axe.
I
Nah,
mean, I
just
always got a
kidding.
chainsaw, you know.
I never cut down a tree with a chainsaw standing up.
Really?
Like someone would always cut it down, and then I would just like chop up the bits. But I don't know. I feel like chainsaws is a tool that I haven't been around too often, so that one's some I don't feel super comfortable. Like, like I don't know how to explain it. Like
So you never really use a chainsaw.
I just never use a chainsaw, so I don't trust myself as much as other shit, you know. Cause
They're really easy to use. I mean, you just
yeah,
gotta obviously be careful. You
yeah,
know, it's like the most thing, obviously, like because it's like there's no real protection of that. You know, like
that's what I'm saying.
if
Like
you
that's
let
some
it
shit you
lean too
could.
far on like, anywhere, you know, you're
Because it's a bunch of other shit. Like you might get hurt, but you're not gonna chop off a limb. You know, that's the one thing about chainsaws for me. At least it's like, whoops, fucking, my whole leg is gone. You know. So
nah,
that's
but you do have to be careful. You know, like that's
yeah,
it. Takes a lot of like strength too. I mean,
yeah.
holding it up, you know, especially the bigger the chainsaw, you know,
Oh
the bigger the
yeah.
chainsaw, the heavier it gets. And there's some pretty big chainsaws out there, bro. There's some big old ones, like because obviously there's some big trees that have to be cut, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really, it's great. Like Alexis, honestly, hats off to that guy, bro. Be like 4 feet, 5 feet, maybe even 8 feet in diameter trees, bro. Nah, actually, eight's way too much, but like 5 feet, 4 feet, yeah, in diameter, bro. Could you imagine that having to cut a tree that size? Like how big that chainsaw has to be and having to hold that thing up at a level. Not only are you cutting the tree, you have to keep that thing up and not like because obviously if you let it like go like this, like the thing's gonna bend. You know the chainsaw's like gonna
Mm.
bend. The chain's gonna bend, and it won't cut it straight. The weight of the tree will make it stop, and
Well, I'm sure they've done it plenty of times where
that's what I'm
it's not
saying.
as hard.
Imagine that though. How do they do that and for a living?
Yeah, that's the hard part. For
They're
the
underpaid for sure.
under.
Underpaid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
dude,
tree.
those motherfuckers make a lot of money.
The people who own the companies.
Bro, that's a dangerous job. You don't think how much? Okay, how much do you think underpaid is, or how much do you think they're making, like per hour? Like the average
Depends.
worker that
Depends what they're
knows.
doing.
What was that?
It depends what they're doing, no?
What's what I'm saying? Like, do you think like the average guy, like you go apply to a company, like what do you think you're making?
Well, like the guys that cut down the trees, that's what I'm saying. They're usually making like 25, $30 an hour.
I think 30. Like I would say
$30 an hour.
30, low 30s. It has to be, because that shit. It's it's I know they're better paid than roofers, and I know a lot of roofers make
Really?
around the 20s. So I would say that uh, lower 30s should be somewhere. I think that's not bad. It's not maybe the best for the work, but
Yeah,
especially I think what pays you more the most is like the more dangerous jobs it is,
facts.
and that's more dangerous than roofing. And roofing. I don't think it's super dangerous, but it's a more dangerous job than other places. So
100%.
I think they make good money, especially when you dish on the side.
Yeah. That's what Alexis did too now. I think he gets little side jobs.
Yeah, I have his business cards.
That's dope.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
always good to have a hustle like that. Like with landscaping, bro. That's what I'm saying. Pick up a little side job anytime. That's just dope.
We'll pick one up right here
Right here.
in this neighborhood.
For real, huh? Well, I passed out cards. People are hella cheap out here.
What else?
I passed out the cards everywhere, remember?
And you got no customers?
They called, but a lot of them just didn't like the price that we gave.
Was it like,
Like we would go out there and check and look at their place, and they were not interested.
well, how so? Like, what is your price
Like
roughly?
less than $75 a month.
A month?
A month.
And they didn't like it?
Imagine there's someone out there doing it for less. Always.
That's why you gotta show them why you need to go with you, why it's worth the money. You know, because if everyone just tries to lowball everyone, then who's making money at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think Bravo's lowballing everyone? Like, oh, your last guy charged you that much? I'll charge you less. You know, there has to be some profits,
Yeah.
or else why would anyone be doing it? I feel that's what's happening right now, especially with roofing. Is everyone has a company. Everyone like I kind of can't wait for the recession to wipe out all those motherfuckers who, because it's easy to make money when everyone else is making money. It's hard to make money when everyone is losing money. So you kind of, if you can just survive the bad times, like not thrive, just survive, your competition is probably not, you're not gonna make it through the hard times, because that's probably when they're starting the hard times. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So we could be like cut out the fat, as far as how many roofers there are in Oregon, and then just gotta apply pressure as soon as the economy's starting back up. That's my
How
idea.
do you know it wouldn't greatly impact you guys?
Well, just being aware of it, I think helps. That hard times are coming. I believe hard times are coming sometime next year.
Yeah, but it's just in your position. It's obviously harder because you're not fully in control of the company's finances. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
how
I'm
could
not
you
in control at
truly?
all.
That's what I'm saying. How could you truly be
Oh,
prepared
I
for
have
something like that?
influence. You think the boss man doesn't listen to me?
Does he though?
Yeah, for the
With the
most
with the
part.
spending of the money.
If I tell him, hey, hard times are coming, we gotta prepare in some type of way. And I haven't told him yet because I haven't seen the signs. I'm not an expert, right? But I haven't personally seen the signs to worry just yet, so I haven't said anything. But I feel like I'm trying to prepare, so by the time it comes, I can be like, hey, you know, this is probably what's gonna happen in the next. Like, I'm trying to take care of it before it becomes a problem. So I'm trying to get our systems, I would say, like our marketing, all that shit, kind of figured out, so that we can at least stand out from the average, at least be like one of like the 2010 companies that make it through the recession.
Hmm.
So
That'd be dope.
that's what I'm saying. That's how I like to think. I like to think like, what would someone else think? How would they react? And then how could I use that, or at least what can I do to best thrive? So the chessboard is eventually the recession is coming soon. What could I do in my position to influence Rodrigo, even you, even anyone else to be best equipped for that? So I'm thinking steps ahead, bro. I was thinking today
Cause
too. It's funny that you were. It wasn't funny. It was cute. How today you were like, "Oh, I'm coming for you," and this whole month, bro. This whole no, it's not this whole month. This whole year, since this year started, I've been on my shit like 95% of the days. So you just started what 2 weeks ago. You thinking all that? Can't
you're
wait. I
getting
can't wait to
there.
see you months down the line. You're gonna be like, this shit sucks. Because it's easy when it's easy, bro. I'm telling you, the days where you're like, I don't want to do this at all. Those are the days that are really worth fighting for.
For real, huh? But everybody has those days.
Everyone has those days. That's true. That's why if everyone has those days, if you can have less of those days, you know, you're ahead of the game. I think we talked about it, or I told you about it. Like whenever I'm in a shitty situation, I'm like, fuck. The average Joe would be all mad and pissed off and want to give up. If I like, just don't like, because like when you're in a situation and you feel emotions right away, it's kind of like a natural thing, right? I feel like it's natural to feel angry or sad about certain situations, but if you like just like click in your head that like this is not how I want to feel, this is how the average person would feel. You kind of like take a step back and try to just be better than what other people would be doing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, you become more self-aware.
Yeah, like I would apply that when I was in school, like the gym, or not the gym, but like PE classes. Like I was always pretty athletic, so it's like the same concept. Like you would be like running the mile with kids, and you kind of would notice when they would give up, and you're like, okay, like the average person, the majority of people, like they're already giving up, and I'm like ahead. So that same mindset kind of still is applying here. Like I know when I get tired, my first wave of being tired, I'm like, okay, the average person is probably tired at this point. So let me keep pushing. And that's how I always try to at least think about a lot of situations.
You gotta get that extra push.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have that motivation within you too.
Oh yeah.
That all comes within. It's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to bring that shit out.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I like. That's honestly my bread and butter is doing shit that's hard. It's more fulfilling. You know how I'm a very guilty person. If there's moments where I feel like I'm not trying my best, like I feel bad. Like it eats me inside up, even if it's something minor. So I always try to push it. Like there's days like it happened recently. I didn't do any push-ups for the first time this whole year. Like sometime last week, and I felt like a piece of shit, bro. I hated myself. Not really, but this is a gross feeling for me. Like I thought taking a day off once a week was a good thing because I would be doing push-ups 6 times a week. And then so I would take my rest day, and then the next day I just felt like shit. And I'm like, ew, why do I feel like this? So I felt like the best way to go about it was just do push-ups every day. So that's what I'm saying, bro. That's your competition on this level. Is I realize to the point now where like I don't want to rest. Like for what? As soon as you leave today, I'm gonna finish my push-ups. I'm gonna maybe try to go to the gym. I'm gonna go back on, learn some more things about editing. So
CapCut, bro. They got those little lessons. You see them?
I haven't watched them, bro. I've been just on the other shit I go on.
You should go on there too to teach you like how you can edit on there too.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I'll check it out. But I like to focus on one thing. So if it's like editing, I don't want to be like edit here, edit here, edit here. I just want to let me finish this up.
You should let me put on a little video that I saw on there. Let me see.
You have the Wi-Fi, no?
I think so. I can just do that.
Yeah, I can connect. There's instructions on the TV.
Freedom.
Buenas noches.
If you can get these three.
Yes. I don't know what she said.
Ray.
He was connected earlier.
If you can get these three things right, then you're completely off to the races and your channel will explode to 1 million. So in this video, I'm going to take my last 6 years of experience in YouTube and
Bob.
try and condense it into
I don't know who this Hadinka Dink is, but
I'm starting the YouTube channel.
Chill, bro.
So I call this framework the Part-Time YouTuber Blueprint because my course is called the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, and I've taught this system to more than 2,300 students over the last 3 years. Now, there's 3 levels to this framework. If you're new to making videos, and in this context, I'm starting a YouTube channel with 0 experience, completely from scratch, we're going to start with level 1. Level 1 is get going, and this is like your first 3 videos. And if you're starting completely from scratch and you have 0 experience, then a huge hurdle that holds people up from starting a YouTube channel is actually just not getting started with the thing in the first place. So what I'd be doing is I'd just be making 3 videos. Maybe they're short, maybe they're videos I don't even edit, maybe I'm just making them on my phone and speaking to the camera and uploading them to a new YouTube channel. I would create a channel, create maybe some channel art.
I was looking at the way he made his video too. Like,
yeah. Well, you notice it when you start doing it.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting to know them. You're seeing if you vibe. And in those 3 videos, I get some pretty good insight into how I feel about making videos. I'm going to be absolutely terrible at it because, like with any skill, it takes ages to get good at.
Bro, is this basically the shit I've already been telling you?
Made some kind of effort in doing it. Like for example, if you
But that's why I wanted to show it to you. But he gets more in depth with it. Like,
Oh, my bad, bro.
chill, bro. Like, this is the beginning, bro. Chill.
Why would anyone watch my content? Will people at my job respond poorly to the fact I have a YouTube channel? All of that overthinking just gets in the way of people. That's why level 1 is to get going and just make those first 3 videos. Because to be honest, YouTube is a lifestyle choice. What you're trying to do, what you're signing up for, if you're going to take it seriously, is making videos every week for the next like several years of your life. And so it's worth flirting with it for these first 3 videos and just seeing how you feel. If you don't know anything at all about literally how to hold a camera, how to hold a phone,
That's crazy. His setup's wild.
Make a thumbnail, how to start a YouTube channel, then there's loads of free content available on YouTube. Anyway, once you've gone on these first 3 dates, once you've made these
This guy has
first
like
3
4
videos,
million
at that
subscribers,
point,
though.
you have a choice. And this is choice number 1. This is, do you want to be in a casual relationship with YouTube, or do you want to be in a serious relationship with YouTube? Now, casual is like, oh, I'll make a video whenever I feel like it. Maybe I'll film a video on a holiday here and there. Serious is, I'm committed to this. And that would be, obviously, the position that I would be in if I was starting YouTube completely from scratch today. I would actively decide, consciously commit to being in a serious relationship with YouTube. That means, just like if you're in a serious relationship with a person in real life, you want to try and see them at least once a week. I would want to be committing to making at least
That's serious?
a week, because
Once a week?
taking it seriously. You know, a YouTube channel does not grow if you treat it casually. You cannot accidentally luck into just having a big profitable YouTube channel and that kind of stuff. You have to actually take it seriously. And then once I've committed to taking YouTube seriously, I'm now ready to go on to level 2. Now, level 2 is what I call get good. But I would say
Get good, kid.
Get good enough. Because in level 2, we're going to be making our next 7 videos. And the point of these 7 videos is to get better at the craft of making.
So what, you think we're level 2?
YouTube is that
I think this is the process we're in right now.
Wound up in being a good YouTuber or being a successful YouTuber. There's titles and thumbnails and filming and talking to a camera and like structuring your stuff and storytelling and being reasonable at public speaking if you're going to show your face. And
those are 2 parts we have to get better at, like storytelling, public speaking.
Everything you mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything really.
Do you even do thumbnails?
No.
See, I'm already ahead of the game, bro. I've been doing thumbnails since day 1.
But I was
You know what this shit reminds me of, low key? Making fucking PowerPoints back in high school.
Really?
That's what it feels like when I'm like doing thumbnails or even editing.
I'm just making videos on whatever I feel like. Maybe I just absolutely freaking love these Stabilo pastel-colored highlighters, so I might make a video about my favorite highlighter pens. Maybe I absolutely love this D-brand Valiant Doll palette collaboration phone case, and I can make a video reviewing that. Maybe I absolutely love this book that I have on my desk at all times, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, so I can make a video reviewing the book. It does not matter what the video is about. What matters is that we're getting better at the craft of making videos, and we're not trying to overthink our niche at this point. And again, to use the relationship analogy, this is where you get to know each other a little bit better. You're learning more about the other person, they're learning more about you. And across these 7 videos, 3 plus 7 equals 10, so 10 videos in level 1 and level 2, across these 10 videos, you're getting to know the craft of making YouTube videos, but you're also learning a little bit about yourself. Maybe at this point, you're even having to confront your emotions around like fear of what other people will think, and judgment and self-doubt, and all of these other emotional hurdles.
That's definitely some too.
And so I'd be making these
What he's talking about right now.
I would just be uploading them to my YouTube channel. At this point, you might
It's very
want to learn
internal.
better editing.
Yeah.
You know?
Use Final Cut. I have another course about this. It's completely free on Skillshare, or it's included for free as part of my part-time YouTuber Academy. If you want, that'll be linked down below as well. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would love it if you could give us a thumbs up. Apparently, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, once you've gotten beyond level 2, at that point,
The
you have to
YouTube
make
algorithm.
the ultimate choice. And the
Hear
ultimate
that?
choice is, do you
It's a
want
real
to treat
thing,
YouTube
bro.
like a
Oh,
hobby?
I know it is. What you mean?
Or do you want to treat YouTube like a business? And on the hobby to business spectrum, let's say hobby is 0 and business is 10, where do you land on that spectrum? You're not allowed to pick 5. And if you do decide at this point that you actually want to treat YouTube as a hobby, that's totally fine. But if you decide that you want to lean towards the business end of the spectrum, if you decide like I would if I were in a position that I want to treat YouTube very seriously, and I want to treat it like a business, and I want to be a professional rather than an amateur when it comes to YouTube, that takes us on to level 3. And level 3 is get smart. Now at this point, we need to actually understand the game of YouTube. So far, in these first 10 videos, we've just been trying to make videos that we enjoy. But to really grow a YouTube channel that can potentially change our life, we need to understand what is the game that we are trying to play. And there's basically 3 things. There's only 3 things that YouTube cares about when it comes to growing a YouTube channel. And if you can get these 3 things right, then you're completely off to the races and your channel will explode and you'll become a millionaire. And those 3 things are number 1, click. Number 2, watch time. And number 3, satisfaction. So firstly, the click. This is the importance of titles and thumbnails and idea generation and concept. No one's ever going to watch your video unless they click on your video. And so the first step to success on YouTube is earning the click. Your titles and thumbnails and concepts need to be sufficiently intriguing that someone actually clicks on the video. Secondly, we have watch time. Now, the YouTube algorithm cares a lot about how much of your video someone has watched, because the YouTube algorithm is ultimately trying to serve the right video to the right viewer at the right time. And so if a viewer is watching a lot of your video, it means they're getting continuous value from that video. And so watch time is a great signal for the algorithm to then promote your video to more people that are similar to that viewer that watched it for a long time. So we've gotten people to click with our title and thumbnail. We've gotten people to watch the video with everything about the video actually being good. And then we want to leave people satisfied. Now, increasingly, the algorithm is talking a lot more about satisfaction. It's looking at signals, according to my YouTube partner manager, who I speak to very regularly, signals like, likes and comments and things. But also, YouTube has started putting these surveys for a percentage of their users that you might have seen when you're browsing YouTube, and they've got tons of other signals for viewer satisfaction. So it's not necessarily that you need to get people to watch 100% of your hour-long video, but YouTube has good ways of knowing were people satisfied as a result of the video that they watched. So having understood the game, we now need to talk about strategy. And this is where we're allowed to start thinking about our niche. But at this point, we have to think, okay, there are zillions of videos uploaded to YouTube every single day, and so your video needs to add enough value for the person on the other end to think that it's justified as an investment of time and attention on their part. You're not just competing with the other stuff that's on the side of YouTube in the suggested videos and watch this next. You're competing with their phone. You're competing with things happening in their real life. You're competing with every other distraction in this person's life. So this is where strategy comes in, and this is where it's really important to figure out what is our niche. Now, the way that I've been teaching this for the last 3 years on my YouTuber Academy, I think makes a lot of sense. And that's, the question of a niche gets people focused on the wrong things. I think a niche is actually two things. It's a target and it's a value. So in the start of my YouTube journey in 2017, the target for my YouTube videos was people applying to medical school in the UK. And the value I was giving them was helping them get into medical school in the UK. And that is a very clear target and a very clear value proposition, which is how my channel grew in those initial days. Now, in our YouTuber Academy, we have a whole 2-hour-long session where we talk about how to figure out your target and your value proposition. But kind of long story short, basically what you want to do is you want to figure out what are your own interests and what are your own strengths and what are your own unfair or competitive advantages and who are the people that you could potentially help or serve with your content. And then you kind of combine all those things and you make a few hypotheses about, okay, I could potentially be helping small business owners manage their accounts. Or I could be potentially helping dentists run better ads on Facebook. Or I could potentially be helping students in Indonesia get better at studying for their exams. Whatever that target and value is, those are different niches that you could potentially enter with your YouTube channel. And so that answers the question of why should someone watch my videos? It's the videos are targeted to that person and I'm giving value to that person, and therefore people are watching my videos for the value that they get. Whether it's entertainment or education or inspiration, there's always value that people want to get from your videos, otherwise they won't watch them. And then the next question we have to answer in the strategy piece is, why would someone watch my videos rather than the other videos on this topic? Now, most niches that you might want to go into on YouTube are kind of crowded these days. Productivity, personal development, all this kind of stuff, ridiculously crowded. And so you need a way of standing out in a crowded market. So again, the method that we teach for this, there's two things to understand here. There's number one, the market, and number two, your edge. So firstly, we've got understanding the market. And here we want to apply the principles that a business would use, which is why we're treating YouTube as a business. Let's say you wanted to start a new business. Let's say you decided, I want to open an Italian restaurant on my local high street. You wouldn't just decide to open an Italian restaurant on your local high street. You would do some market analysis. You would see, what other Italian restaurants are there in my local area? What other restaurants are there in my local area? What are the coffee shops? What's the clientele like? What's the sort of income of people walking through the area? You'd be doing a lot of analysis before you pull the trigger and just randomly decide to open up an Italian restaurant. And so we analyze the market and then we figure out our competitive or authentic edge. And this isn't necessarily about being better. In fact, I think being better is the worst way of doing it, especially because better is in the eye of the beholder and also it just takes way more work. But there are lots of other domains in which you could stand out. For example, in terms of the depth of research you go into your videos, in terms of storytelling, in terms of editing, in terms of relatability and authenticity. Maybe you're a male in a female-dominated industry or female in a male-dominated industry. Maybe you're the only person of color who's making that kind of content, and so you're appealing to other people of color just like you. And so there's loads of these different ways that you could stand out in the market, and you just need to figure out what is that, what is the market and what is my edge. Now, once I've figured out the strategy, the next problem I'm going to run into is that it takes a large amount of time to do all of this stuff well, especially if I've got a full-time job, especially if I've got family and friends and I want to maintain my health and social life. It's actually really hard to make the time to do YouTube well, unless of course you quit your job from day one and that kind of stuff. Again, I'm assuming if I start YouTube completely from scratch, I don't have the ability to quit my day job. And this is quite a lot to do. There's a lot of stuff you have to do to be good at YouTube, and it's really, really, really hard to do it in 5 to 10 hours a week. But what I've learned over the last 6 years, and I incorporate this kind of knowledge into my starting YouTube from scratch, is that if I build systems the systems and leverage, then I actually can do YouTube in somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week. And again, this is thinking like a business. It's like if you go into any McDonald's anywhere in the world, you'll get basically an identical experience because the systems and processes that McDonald's have built are absolutely incredible. You can put any 16-year-old into any of the positions at McDonald's, basically.
Well,
the same results.
I don't know if that's true.
So what I'd be thinking
You
is,
still
how do I
fuck up
build
my
systems
order.
for my YouTube channel so that I can create valuable content that my audience finds interesting and useful within my niche that's strategically aligned to what I want to do, but do it in a way that doesn't take up large amounts of time. Now, if you got to the end of this video and you're interested in potentially building systems for your own YouTube channel and saving a lot of time, that's exactly what we teach on my part-time YouTuber Academy. And we're going to be doing our final live cohort of the course in April and May of 2023. So this is the last.
Might sign up right now.
I've done
Sign up right now.
cohorts for over
Huh?
2,300
Sign up.
in the last like 2.5
You
years.
scared?
But now it's kind of getting a bit boring. Firstly,
I've been telling you to do
same stuff
courses.
repeatedly
You don't
for the last
listen.
3 years. But also now that this channel has grown and
You think it's a good idea?
My life is going in a direction
Bro.
where running live online courses is no
Yes.
longer compatible with other cool stuff that's happening. But basically, the whole course is about how you build systems and processes and tools and templates to operationalize and scale the YouTube channel just as if you were treating it like a business. And I've been building these systems and tools for my channel for the last 6 years. I've taught it to 2,000 plus other students, and so we'll teach that to you on this live course as well. And we've got some really cool looking graphs and testimonials as well from people who have taken the course in the last like 2.5 years. And his channel exploded, and it's just super interesting.
See, girls are bullshit because like they're girls, bro.
Also, I get that the course
There's
is
too many
pretty expensive
simps out
because
there.
it's live and it takes a lot of effort from like me
If I was a 6
10 other people in my
and a
team
girl,
to make this happen. But for the last
it's game
3 years,
over,
we
bro.
have
Come
done
on.
scholarships to people with difficulty.
Come on now.
And this time, again, because it's the final
I'm a
live
6
course
and a
that
guy,
we're
so
doing,
it's
we've doubled the amount of
tough.
scholarship places that are available. So
You know?
if you want to take YouTube seriously, but if you're in a financial
No,
situation
it is
that
tough,
you
bro.
can't afford the price of the course, then you should
That's why we
absolutely
gotta
apply
get it
for a
though.
scholarship.
We gotta put in double the work.
I saw some shit that like I think we were talking about like Twitter or Instagram, but a girl with like 200,000 followers is the same as like a guy with 10,000. Because like, come on, bro.
I mean, realistically, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Because I mean, a guy has to work a lot harder to get that. You know.
How you said like about the first thing you gotta do is get them to click. If you're just a picture of a girl and it's you, like a lot of people are gonna click.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's not the same for everyone. I've heard some stories of OnlyFans girls that like some that don't even make that much money.
Some of them do though.
Some of them do. But you know what it is? I feel like it's not even like that they're because some of them are like sometimes like they're not ugly, but I feel like maybe their marketing just sucks.
Yeah.
You know? So that's how you fucked up. Imagine being a cute girl and you still can't turn that into like money. You
I mean,
know?
it really is strategic too. It is just marketing at the end of the day too. You gotta know how to put yourself out there. You gotta know where to put it, like where to post, where to send your pictures to, where to. Oh, dude. Speaking of, I tapped in with
That one dude, Jonathan?
no, with this WTF Portland page. You know who they are?
I think I followed him on Twitter.
Yeah, they have a Twitter.
What happened?
But they put, they post all this crazy shit. Yeah, goes on in the city, like news and whatever.
Yeah.
I tapped in with them. I was like, they got a lot of followers. You see that? 244,000.
So what happened?
They all had a question. Do you guys do promo? And if so, how much do you guys charge? I live in the Portland area and have a vlog channel I like to promote. And I said, hello. Current share rates are 1 reshare for 175.
There you go. Do you think your page is at that level though?
No.
That like you want to pay that much for it? Well, there it is. So you gotta get more content. It's a journey, bro. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey. Can we watch this one video, bro? That this is my cup of tea. This is the shit that I like to watch. I was watching some of it earlier. Where's this fool at? My man's Iman.
Childhood is where you have to put
This
yourself
guy?
through the fire.
This fool.
Alright, listen to me very closely because life for the top 1% of men is better than it has ever been.
See his editing and shit. Like he's got good ass editors.
And for the other 99% of men, it is more depressing than it has ever been. Because you see, contrary to what they tell you in the media, life for a man is actually quite hard. It's a video game where you start right at the beginning at level 0, and every single day you have to work to level up. You see, because if you don't, some other guy will, and that guy will take the money that could have been yours, the life that could have been yours, and it's going to be very, very, very
Steiny, bro.
right now. But
He's ahead of us.
the wife that could have been yours. And I really want you to let that sink in. I want you to imagine right now your dream woman. What does she look like? How does she carry herself? What kind of an incredible mother is she to your future children? How proud are you to have her by your side? Do you have that image in your mind? Okay, cool. Now I want you to imagine her with another guy. Make it graphic. Make it sting. Make it hurt. Because you just lost your future wife, the future mother of your children, to another man. Because you decided you're going to around with some video games while the other guy every single day put 1 foot forward in front of the other and leveled up and left you behind. That is the cold harsh reality for men. It is competition 24/7. There is no rest. And that is precisely why you need to become a high value man. Now there is a big misconception as to what is actually a high value man. And that's because most of the guys that you watch online either don't know what it actually means to be a high value man or simply have not been in the trenches long enough. You can all be in the trenches for 2 years and think that you're going to be a high value man. And we'll get onto that in just a second. I'm going to share with you guys 5 things in this.
See the trenches?
All 5 need to be.
I don't think he knows what the trenches
He
are.
grew up poor.
It's not easy. This is not
Did he?
that you're going to get.
Yeah, he grew up with just his mom,
6 months.
single or only child.
What other option do you have? The first step in order to become a high value man, and this is really where I see past the facade of a lot of the manosphere community, a lot of the red pill community, a lot of what used to be the pickup community. The first step is you need to remove any crutches. Let me make something clear. You should be rich. You should have a good body. You should have abundance of women. But if you use those as crutches, well, then you simply can't be high value. Everyone thinks that they're going to get a 6-pack, and then all of a sudden here you are, high value. Or they think they're going to get rich. I see this a lot as well. They think, well, once I'm rich, I'm a high value man. No, you're not. Because you need to understand, especially when you're dealing with a certain caliber of guy or a certain caliber of girl, it's a commodity. Everyone has a good body. Everyone's rich. It's expected to even just get into the room. It's a prerequisite. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been uploading publicly on YouTube for 7 years. You can go back to me at 15 years old when I was doing all the things where I was meditating every single day. I was reading a book a week. I've been doing this self-improvement stuff for as long as I can remember, publicly on YouTube, longer than anyone else I know, and documenting it. And I only felt high value maybe 2 years ago, 18 months ago. I mean, imagine that I was 19 years old, and here I was, multi-millionaire, the girls, the travel, the good body, social status, everything, you name it, I had it. But I still knew I wasn't a high value man. I still knew I wasn't that guy. I looked like that guy, but I wasn't that guy deep down because I didn't face the boy. I was still a little boy because I didn't face my insecurities. I may have been the man, but I didn't feel like the man. At the end of the day, if everything else gets stripped around you, and the only thing that's left is you as a person, if you would feel naked, if you would feel exposed, well then these are simply crutches, and you're not that guy yet. And that is why I don't believe from scratch you can become a high value man. It's at least a 5-year journey. Because first you work and you accomplish and you strive and you conquer and you do all these things that from the outside make you look like the man, but then you actually need to become that guy. And you will know deep down in your heart of hearts when you've accomplished it. And that leads us into the next way to become a high value man. In order to become a high value man, you must reimagine the time. You see, most of you guys think that you're going to become a high value man within 1 or 2 years, and it's simply not going to happen. I've never seen it happen in less than 5 years because there's so much internal work that goes along with it. As I mentioned, first you do, and then you become. Every time someone gets success, they then need to fully integrate into that identity and into that success. For me, it took 7 years, from the age of 14 when I really started my self-development journey all the way up until basically my 21st birthday. That's really where I started to feel like, okay, I don't feel like I have anything to prove. I feel like a high value man because of who I am, right? Because of my abilities, because of my capabilities, not because of the things I have around me. And it's very hard to explain, but you just look in a guy's eye. It's the demeanor, it's the way he carries himself, how self-assured he is. It's hard to describe. You just know, you can see it. So for me personally, as I said, it took 7 years. For you, it might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But what is your other option? It is a long, long, long process. But as I said, what's your other option? Because there is a guy right now who's robbing you of your future life because you simply refuse to face your insecurities, your past traumas, all the things that most people don't really talk about. But all the reasons why when you hang out with influential guys, or you hang out with girls, they'll be able to read through you. they'll be able to see, even though you look like you're the man, you're just a little boy. And until you work on that, you're never going to be able to attract the people that you want in your life. Now, the third thing you need to do in order to become a high value man is have ultimate true freedom. So that means financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. Listen to me, I would rather make $100,000 a year and be able to live anywhere in the world, be able to work remotely, and be able to build the systems and processes so that way I have a great team who takes care of it. There's no such thing as passive income. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, it's just passive income. You just set it and forget it. No, everything breaks down. You know, just like a car, just like things in your house. When you have things in your life that are tested, that you put volume through, let's say that's even your shoulder, you know, with enough time and not taking care of it, it can blow out, right? It's the exact same thing with your business. Don't think that you can just build something and then just set it and forget it, and it's just going to spit out money and never break. So there's no such thing as passive income, but there is leveraged income, using leverage in order to find the right people, in order to find the right solutions to actually deliver the service or the product or whatever it is that you're doing. So I would much rather make $100,000 a year and have location and time freedom than make $1 million or hell, even $3 million and be stuck in one city and have someone tell me, hey, at this time you come into office, at this time you have to leave. You don't have a say in when you get to go to the gym, when you get to hang out with your friends. Oh, you go out on a really fun trip with your friends. Too bad you already used your vacation days. And the funny thing is, when I say this, people think like office jobs, right? But they're forgetting about the footballers. They're forgetting about the actors. They're forgetting about all the famous people they look up to and think, oh, they have freedom. Well, they don't. They had a team, they had a manager, they had people in their corner telling them, look, we haven't made enough money this year. We haven't sold enough tickets this year. And, you know, I've talked about this stuff a lot, so I really don't want to hammer the point home any further. So just remember, you need true freedom. And true freedom is not just making a lot of money. Now, the fourth thing you need in order to become a high value man is some sort of adversity in your life. So either that adversity and hardship is forced on you. For example, with me having to support and take care of a single mother, that was really not the easiest thing to come to terms with at the age of 8 or 9 years old. And without going into too much detail here, just having a very difficult upbringing to deal with, and just going through and seeing a lot of things.
That kid's mom would be hella proud of him, though.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's certain adversity, there's certain challenges that just force.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just imagine that, being able to just.
That's everyone's dream, bro. Come on now.
They don't pull up their boots and become the person they need to
This
become.
guy's actually living it.
It's the challenge.
So
And that's just the unfortunate nature of the world.
how he said in the beginning, like someone else is doing it.
It's him.
It's him.
I want you to wake
He
up
is him.
every morning, look at yourself in the mirror,
Timothy.
and ask yourself honestly, would I follow this man into war? Stare in the mirror and be honest with yourself. What do you see? Now, I know some of you guys are looking at this and going, okay, well, I come from a middle class family or maybe even a wealthy family, or you may have just generally had a very cushy life in general. Well, that's fine as long as you force adversity and hardship on yourself. So whether that be small things. I remember even me when I was 15, 16, I used to do a bunch of cold approach, and you know, it taught me a lot about how the world works. And as men, we all know that anxiety of like looking at a girl and being like, do I speak to her? Do I talk to her? All that stuff. So I did a lot of that growing up, and I think even that adversity shaped a lot of who I am today. I will never ever look at a girl 3 times. The first time I might look and acknowledge, oh wow, that's a very beautiful girl. The second time I might look over again, and at that point I have to either make the decision: am I going to be man enough that night or that day to go up and say something and say hi and introduce myself, or am I not going to do it? But at least it's a skill that I don't think is necessarily too effective for the main goals that most guys want. But it is a skill that's very incredible and teaches you a lot about adversity and difficulty. So whether that's learning cold approach, whether that's running a marathon. I had a very difficult summer of 2020 where I had crippling anxiety attacks. And by the way, you know, I'm a person that I've been meditating for the longest time ever. I would sit and I would meditate. I'm like, I could just meditate away. No, it never went away. And the only thing I could think about for 3 weeks straight, from morning to night, was how I was going to delete myself. And there's a big difference between thinking about it and thinking about how you're going to do it. Once you start getting into the, hey, how am I going to do it? That's a very different level of severity. Over the past 2 or 3 weeks, I keep waking up with crippling anxiety. And
Hold on.
You're suicidal at one point, I guess.
I just don't feel like myself. The reason I say that is because I made the decision. I am going to run a marathon in 2 weeks with no preparation. I never run more than 8 kilometers in my entire life. And I made the decision that in 14 days, I'm going to run 42 kilometers with no training on a cold, rainy day in London in December with no flat roads or perfect route or anything. I felt like after the summer of 2020, after having a very difficult summer, I felt like I had nothing left. I didn't believe in me. I didn't believe in my powers. I didn't believe in how strong I was. So I had to put myself through something difficult to go, you can get through anything. If you can get through that, you can get through anything. So if you grew up with an amazing, loving family without too many difficulties, there's absolutely nothing wrong. That's beautiful. It's amazing you had that experience. It's amazing that you had a good reference for what a good childhood is. But you have to put yourself through the fire. You have to find a way. And it's funny, after I ran my marathon in 2021 and 2022, I had my two biggest years when it comes to every aspect of my life. I really leveled up the last 2 years, but now I feel like I'm a little soft again, which is why next year I'm dedicating myself to boxing, to really committing to the craft, to getting punched in the face over and over and over and putting myself through that adversity. So that way, the year after, I can have my first proper fight. Just remember that a man that has never been through hardship can never truly be a man that women respect or follow into war. The last thing that you need in order to become a high value man is a strong network. And out of all the things that I listed, I say this is the least important and the last piece of the puzzle. You know, a lot of people obsess about networking in their first few years of starting this journey. For me, it was the opposite. I just put my head down, and I'm like, I am going to become an incredible man. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to do it for more than a decade. And when I pop my head up, the people that I used to look up to or respect, rather than me trying to network with them, they're going to reach out to me, or we're going to get introduced as peers, as equals. And that is exactly what has happened in the last 2 years. So that's why I'm saying I believe that this is the fifth and last step of this puzzle, but it is extremely important to have a strong network in your corner. You know, there's a lot of things that money alone simply cannot fix. You need a network. You need a problem solver in your corner. You need people who can protect you, your loved ones, and you need people who can get their hands dirty if need be. See, there's not a single problem that's been presented to me in the last year or 2 years that I have not been able to fix myself or through my direct network. And let me tell you, you will earn the respect of both men and women if you are that person, if you have that sort of influence, that sort of power, that sort of status, that sort of pull. I mean, even the other day, there was a specific thing that one of my good friends, Hamza, needed help with. Within a few hours, I had taken care of it, and he'd send me this message. As I said, the world can be very cruel, so once you start winning, you need a network. You know, it's another level to be able to get someone's documents pushed through because you have that level of power in a specific country. It's another level of power to be able to ban someone from a specific venue, a specific chain of restaurants because the owner owes you a favor. And it's another level of power when you have people in your corner that make sure that if anyone messes with you or your loved ones, they will face swift and aggressive consequences. And by the way, I don't know what any of this is like, hypothetically imagining. So, anyways, the fifth point is really just the cherry on top. You need to address the first 4 points, and then you can really get onto this fifth point and really become someone that's powerful, influential, and whatever the problem is, either you or the problem solvers in your corner that work directly for you, that owe you favors, they will make sure it's taken care of swiftly and professionally. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 5 ways how you become a high value man. You don't become a high value man by making a bunch of money and buying a Lambo and then going to the club and popping bottles. And by the way, all that stuff is okay. You know, maybe 7-8 times a year I go to a club and I just spend money with a bunch of my friends just because why not? We can. And I buy a bunch of expensive stuff and I live a great life. I don't think that makes me the man. It's the 5 things that I talked about here that really makes you a top 1% man. Now these are the 5 things, but in order to accomplish them, you need good habits. So that's why I want you to watch this video next, which are the 3 habits that made me a millionaire.
So what do you think, dog?
I think this is like, I think he has a dope story to tell. You know, I think that's definitely something to get motivated from, somewhere to pick motivation from. Like if he did it in that long, why can't we?
Exactly. He said what 2014 he was doing it.
Yeah, but that's another reason why he was ahead of the game. He started when nobody else was even on that mindset. You know.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Imagine that. Imagine being that woke from that long ago.
Well, I told you, bro. You're a good age. You're still 22.
But it's not even about that though. It's about the age. It's like about the timing of the generation. You know.
Well, when he started,
shit is difficult right now, regardless, because of the way that people think. You know, people
What
are
you mean, my
very judgmental nowadays. You know, so that helps and leads a lot to.
Why do you say that? I don't think so. I
You
feel
don't
like if
think so?
anything, it's the opposite. Everyone's trying to be influencers, right? Like now that I'm starting this, I kind of look at more people like, oh hey, this guy barely has any followers or subscribers, but he's like, you could say he's been posting videos, and it's like I think it's kind of cool. Like if anything, I feel like I'm less judgmental now because I get it. You know, like everyone wants to do this, so like why not? It's like fair game for anyone to make it.
And like Junior was saying the other day, it's free. It's free to post. You know, it's all
free to post, bro.
It's like
It's just your time.
and that's like the part where we gotta just do it. You know, and just keep at it. I just really think that we just can't stop. I really feel like at this point I can't because I feel like it's an obligation. You know.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, that's what I was telling you. That's how I feel about everything else. working out. That's why I'm glad this is something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, but it was very hard because it's like you gotta record yourself, and so it's easier to have someone with me to do it.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for pulling up, Mario. You're the only guy I could convince.
Come on, man. I mean, it's dope though. For real, it's actually hella dope. Like, I really like this experience. I guess like
Can I tell you a secret?
what?
Weren't we talking about like manipulation earlier? In a way, I manipulated you to do this. I'll put little seeds in your head.
Like in that movie Inception, you placed an idea.
Exactly.
Ideas.
I really did. I really for real did. Because all ideas are it starts as an idea, then it becomes like an action, becomes a habit, then becomes a character. It becomes who you are basically. So
And it's crazy to think that like this is only the beginning, you know. Like I know that I know that this is gonna stick. I just know, like we're gonna have like so many like crazy times too, crazy experiences. That's why I know we're gonna go viral, bro.
I mean, I'm not even worried about going viral because I feel like that's not.
I'm not worried about it either, but I just know we are. Like you said, we have to manifest it. You know?
Yeah.
And I know we are. Sure. Like I know we're gonna fucking pop off.
Because I feel like the hard part right now is that we have to film it ourselves. But once we can get people that film this for us, I feel like it'd be easier. Cause when we were the guys, like it's kind of hard just to be like,
Yeah.
So if we just had someone recording 24/7, we could just.
It would help big time.
We need a Steiny before he was Steiny.
True. Huh?
A little assistant.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what money can do, bro. Money has power. You can start controlling people.
Oh, hey, yo! I don't condone that behavior.
I'm not controlling people, but you could start having people do stuff for you. You know, like that's what leverage is.
Chill, right? Chill. Where'd you learn this stuff from?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's all we gotta really get.
Wells.
Gotta get on the level. Like, and it all starts by just posting, bro. Learning how to edit ourselves. Because even then, bro, I feel like our editing has already picked up like quick. Like we got good at this shit quick. I feel like we adapted fast.
I think, yeah.
We still have a lot to improve. I'm not saying we're there.
Yeah. But I feel like
we're picking up quick.
Where we're at compared to everyone else, we're ahead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just gotta keep it up.
For real.
We
just gotta get more deep into this. Like, how can we get better from here? You know?
Well, I feel like it's easy right now. I feel like once you make it to a certain point, because it's easy right now to get better because we can get better at editing, we get better at speaking. But when it gets to a point, I feel like we're gonna have to, like, our editing is top notch. We could talk about whatever. Like everything's gonna be maxed out, and then we're gonna have to still put out good content.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the hardest part. I think right now we're in the easy phase.
But the thing is, like, I feel like right now, I've been working with not the greatest of content. Like I feel like we can make crazy content.
Oh yeah.
But right now I don't. But I'm working with what we got.
No, yeah. Like even this, like I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but I mean I'll post it. Who cares, right? But I'm saying like imagine you max out your stats, your content is great, but like can you really be doing the same content for like a year? Then after you expect everyone to still be, I think adapting to whatever new trends or new shit is going on. Because even like old school Call of Duty players, like they're either not around or they're not posting Call of Duty no more. They're either they found something else to post about,
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised Ninja still has a job because like who watches Fortnite videos nowadays,
For real.
And he's still on that, so
on Fortnite.
I think so, right?
I mean, I don't watch it. I never really did.
Well, obviously his clips still pop up, so I'm like, huh?
Damn.
This guy's still at Tifu, that same fool. All right.
But yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. We just gotta find what it is we're gonna do. And that's the thing. You already figured out what you're gonna do with like the business and like the What else did you say?
It's essentially trying to model after this guy a little bit. Not. It's basically like information to help you grow, like to the next generation type shit. But my version of it, my experiences. So it's not like I want to copy him directly, but like use his influence, I guess, and then turn into my own. And then like the other guys I watch too. Like I just like money shit. I like talking about money. I like hearing shit about money. And I feel like it's interesting because people who don't have money think that not talking about money is a good thing. But I watch these guys that have money and like all they talk about is fucking, I invest in this, I do this, my business is that. Like they might not say like dollar amounts every time, but like they're always talking about
Money.
Money in, money out.
Well, that's what a business is. You know?
Well, yeah, that's all it is. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that people think, oh, let me not talk about it, and then somehow magically I'll make a lot about it, a lot of it. Which I don't know. Some people say it's tacky, but I mean,
Gotta just get with the program. Gotta get our money up.
yeah, that's all this is.
Money is power, bro. It really, really is, man.
Dang, it sounds like you're trying to be real powerful.
I am, bro. Trying to be a super villain, dog.
Super villain. It's crazy that like these new superhero movies where like they're not even trying to be like the perfect hero no more. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's like almost a little more realistic. Like a Homelander. Like that fool, he's kind of a dick, but at the same time, like you kind of understand where he's coming from.
Hancock.
Homelander, what?
You ever seen the movie Hancock? Bro?
Like fucking 2013. When did it come out?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, shit's old.
But he's
Back
not
when
the
Will
perfect
Smith.
superhero. You know what I'm talking about? He's a fucking alcoholic.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like that one was like a little more. I don't know. I feel like I like how they portray these new guys. Like back then, I feel like it was a little
what,
like.
What movie do you mean?
Like
Give me an
Homelander.
example. What? I've never seen that one, bro.
He's basically like he's the hero, but then like people kind of like take advantage of him type shit. And he's like, wait a minute, I don't need you guys. You guys need me. And that's like it's just an interesting like character development. But I don't know. What would a real life? Because people are assholes, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you could be a fucking good person and genuinely people can
like we're really expecting every superhero to be like Batman or Superman,
No, it's never like that, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna have their own fucking. Someone's gonna rub them the wrong way eventually. You're not scared. You're not scared of being corrupt.
What do you mean?
Like having so much power that you kind of like lose yourself.
I don't know. I don't think I have that in me, bro. I genuinely don't, because I just feel like there's no amount of money in the world that can corrupt me. Like,
Sure, bro?
Because dude, honestly, like,
bro.
I can feel like people's like genuine
But if you made so much money that you didn't care.
But exactly, if I'm making money.
Like I feel bad for celebrities. Because celebrities, they can't be normal people anymore. Because of normal people. So it's kind of, when like a celebrity talks about like oh, you wouldn't understand my problems, and then like normal people are like bro, you're rich, like, you shouldn't have anything to complain about. But it's kind of like I feel that's kind of fucked up towards them because it's like you're kind of invalidating anything they feel because they have money, which is kind of like I guess just neglecting them in a way, like emotionally neglecting them. Like, hey, you can't feel bad because there's people in Africa or there's people who can't even.
People who would have it worse than you, but there's always someone out there.
There's always someone, but imagine like any problem you had. Imagine that you can't complain. You can't complain to the public because they're gonna get mad at you for like, oh, you're so insensitive. Like there's people, like that's kind of bullshit.
100%. That's fucked up.
You kind of can't, because everyone complains. You know who complains the most is the average Joe.
Yeah.
And then they get mad at when celebrities complain. I feel like that's hypocritical.
Oh, 100%.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's almost it should. I feel like it should be more common that celebrities are assholes. You know,
Yeah.
because who are normal people to decide who? I saw some shit today that was like that. Soccer related. It was like it was at the Bayern game. The fans were like, "Oh, the the club might be owned by like the Glazers and then other people, but soccer's for the people." And I was like, it makes sense. You can't have soccer without like the general people, but who's gonna be funding it? You know, like that's also another thing. If no one was funding all these stadiums, all to fucking have it on TV, if no one was like, if there was no rich people, then how would we ever be able to consume it?
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like I don't know. There's a lot of hate towards the rich. I'm not defending them either, but I'm just saying like it's interesting that because there is more group of people on one side than the other, it's like it invalidates other people's opinions.
The sheep effect, bro. Everybody kind of just wants to jump on the wave and hate on the fucking rich when there's less of them, you know?
That's true.
Because it's just the easier thing to do. It's easier to hate on them than it is to like be like stand out and be like, oh, like you're saying right now, you know, like validate their feelings.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too because I think I don't want to be like America's the greatest country ever, but I feel like it's pretty dope that anyone, if you kind of like stick your head out your ass type shit, you could make money in this country like tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are like no, we gotta. I have this one homie. He used to say stupid shit like, we gotta eat the rich, you know. And I'm like, and then the more I get into this kind of content, the more it's like poor people are just
Sour.
they're wrong more than anything. Like the way poor people think, and that's not to say that I'm not poor. You know, I didn't come from, or I did come from like poorer backgrounds, but it's just interesting to see like the people who make it out, they think completely different than the people who stay at the bottom, and then you kind of just realize like like they're just wrong. They're just like wrong. You know, they're not thinking about the things they should be thinking about. They're thinking about um like they have the opportunity in this country to make it out, but they think, well, I'll be working my job, even though I'm not making enough. I'm not gonna work any harder than that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe I'm a dickhead, but
I mean,
I
you
think
always got to go the extra mile. I feel like
yeah.
not everyone's prepared to do that.
Fuck man.
Crazy, bro.
That's crazy, huh?
So we just gotta fucking do what we gotta do, man. Get get to our highest peak. We gotta become high valued men.
Eventually. It's
Gotta become Timothy's, bro.
Timothy's, yeah.
Just imagine, bro. That's what I'm saying. Do you think imagining is healthy? Yeah.
I think imagining and speaking things into existence is the same thing. Which is I'm always on your ass, even if it's something minor, especially when it's something minor. I feel like if you can get the mind, like if you can put it in your head that hey, it's bad. It's a negative for me to even say that what the fuck did you say today? You said something that was like
I'm unlucky.
yeah, you said you were unlucky, and I'm like, hey, yo, bro, keep that energy over there. I would never say that nowadays because I know that if I could, even if it's a lie,
You're right, bro. You're so right about that. And
even if it's a lie, if you keep telling yourself enough time, eventually you're just gonna forget to reason it and just believe it just because you told yourself so many times. So I'm telling you, there's a difference between just saying it and then actually believing it. I believe full-heartedly that the shit you say becomes true. So when you say, "Oh, I'm unlucky," I'm like, it just like it stings me the wrong way. You know, it's like I heard a bullet and I'm trying to duck. And like, hey, bro, I don't want to be caught either. You know, so it's
like you can't, you really can't have negativity like that in your
at
life.
all. And it's not even in your life, in your own thoughts, in your own words. You know what I mean? That's why it's so minor, but I think it's like a building block.
And it can spread so easily, you know.
Yeah,
Like, that's what I'm
bro.
saying.
You start
Just-
saying shit like, "Oh,
Just like ideas, bro. Like an idea can spread like fire, bro. You know, an idea can spread like a fire. They can take over somebody, straight up.
yeah. I think that's well, that's basically what happened with that. Is the idea is the shit you say is true. So if I truly believe that, then why would I say, oh, I don't even want to say it right now. That's how I don't want to say that's how bad I feel about it, but that's how you give your words have powers, and with power comes responsibility. Kind of apply that to this.
Shout out, Uncle Ben.
He said that. Come on, bro.
Are you kidding me?
From Spider-Man, right?
Y'all hear this, man?
From Spider-Man.
He said that. Oh my! You
Hey,
better get roasted.
I'm not him. All right. Actually, see what I mean, bro? See what happens when I'm hanging out with you? I am him. What do you want me to do about it?
Like, don't put me in that shit. I am him. I don't know about you.
Oh, I am him.
That's what I'm saying. Come on now. Nah, that's what I'm saying. We spreading this shit, bro. We spreading this awareness to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna know the level we on. And everybody gonna tap in, bro. They gonna see us.
But I think it would be more dope just to see people, hopefully taking this serious and like making their own lives better. I think that would be more dope than anything else.
Making an impact, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the real end goal, you know,
Like influence.
to influence people. And that you just gotta keep that same like that same idea, you know, like always have that in mind, like have that in heart. Never do it for like obviously like the views or anything like that. It's all about the influence. That's what I'm saying. You gotta stick to what you do at least. Like for me, that's what I'm saying. I want to do like all kinds of shit. I don't want to just influence. I feel like I want to just entertain. I want to just be myself. You know, I just want to be myself and show people that you can make money by being yourself. You can become who you want to be by being yourself. You know, like you gotta believe in yourself. That's all it is. Like it's all like kind of like almost like the same thing with like the self improvement type shit. It's like you can believe you can make it happen by just doing what you want to do. You know, like that's something. Imagine how dope it would be to just hang out with your friends and make money off of it. You know, that's what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. You know,
That'd be dope. I mean, that's what we're doing right now.
exactly. You just ain't making money yet.
Just need to make money. Yeah. So tap in, guys. We need
For
that
real.
money.
We need that guala.
Nah, but that'll come.
Nah, but all we need is that like for the algorithm, bro.
Shout out Steezy Blogs.
For the
Philly
algorithm.
Fades was here, but you know,
Dude, and then I put Leo's thing, like his little bio link or whatever to his
yeah.
book a thing, and it didn't like you can't put links in the bio. So like it was just like words. So basically you'd have to like copy and paste.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen links before.
I know, but I don't know. It didn't let
I
me.
wonder how they do it.
That's what I'm saying. I was wondering how they do it too now. Cause I tried, but I just ended up putting like the link. And it didn't really work. Yeah, I was like, fuck.
That's interesting. I didn't know that you couldn't do that.
Well, vibes.
Well, so I think we recorded a lot. This is gonna go on my channel. This is podcast number 2. There you go. Channel, turn it off. All right, guys, that's it.
You heard?
Hopefully you caught that.
What?